we continue to engage with our customers, looking for seamless ways to interact with them, looking for ways to use, to be able to use the data we gather to inform experiences, to be able to personalize them, but mostly looking for ways to make doing business with us, submitting a claim, filing a claim, getting updates, looking at your savings, to be a bit of a seamless experience as opposed to, kind of a chunkier one. I think we're all familiar with the path that, sort of older design principles go through, where essentially the front end user interface looks like it was designed by the person who wrote the input boxes in the back end. It's essentially sort of a visual mapping of the code behind it. So I know it's somewhere we continue to work to modernize, but it's a very important. It is a very important piece for us.
A lot of our customer facing is self-serve. When you think of pizza, you're thinking, okay, you could create a website. How hard is it to create a pizza online? Then you have to think about the call center. There's another customer engagement there, and then at our in-store. And when we look at these things, we look at what does the customer want when they come in. And one of the things we cater for our customer is we know that they have their cell phone, and that's what they do most of their work on. When we look at our website, and although we could say we designed for a desktop, which is not true, 85% of our customer uses it on their phone. We have an iOS app, we have an Android app. So for us, from a competitive standpoint, we have to focus and spend a lot of time to understand what our customer wants, how well can we do it, and not just make it easy to place an order, it's just to understand the behavior of our customer. Because if we have the Maple Leaf playing, the Raptors playing, that drives volume for us. And understanding those type of customer, it helps us. So part of the things that we are doing internally is take all that customer data, analyze it, understand it. Actually, I'm in the middle of a project where we're focusing highly and using AI to manage and understand customer behavior across the entire country. So we can tell what the customer is like in PEI, Montreal, Toronto versus BC. So, and their behavior are different based on weather system also plays a big part of it. So those are some of the things we are doing to enhance our customer. It's a never ending thing, to be honest, because we've been doing this for the last few years. And with technology evolving, it's just gotta, like you said, we're playing catch up. We want to do things that's better for our customer.
What I find interesting is we're often saying we're after clients' data and what they want, but the nice thing about the App Store is they have a place to say what they love about it and what they hate about it. And what I've recognized is sometimes the information is right in front of your face, but when you have to prioritize meeting that need as opposed compared to doing something else, that's where the rubber hits the road. Are we going to invest in bringing this capability to life, something the clients have been asking for, or are we going to look on investing in our back office because that's impacting our sponsors? So it's always a bit of that. What I've also realized, we're over 10,000 employees globally. So when we ask what does the client want, well, what do we want as clients? We are clients too. So sometimes the answer is really not that far away, and we tend to over-rotate on wanting to collect and know more of the clients when we probably already have a list of 10 things we know they want, and they're pretty basic, but just haven't done it yet. So we're always on the pursuit for more and more and more insight when in fact there's probably quite a bit already in front of us and we just haven't prioritized it. So it's how do we stay ahead, and how do our executives recognize how the insights of the clients can actually change their priorities. It may not change the big strategy, but it can definitely influence what they do first over something else.
COVID was one of those occurrences that really helped us from a technology perspective, because we're in a people business. We have tenants, we have people in the offices in those buildings, and clearly during COVID there was separation, and that forced us really to accelerate the deployment of a resident portal application. And as we're starting to change now the profile of the demographics of the individuals who are renting through us, the expectation is very much that we've got that online digital lead to lease experience, that they can do a virtual tour of a unit, that they can actually go through the whole lease process without having to engage an individual unless they actively wish to do so. And the technology that we're looking at is actually going to become very much AI driven from a chat perspective, be it text, chat, or voice, to be able to actually provide the type of service that those individuals need. The interesting thing is, if we look at the majority of our portfolio, the demographics of the individuals who we actually have as tenants are not necessarily technology savvy individuals. So we have to be able to provide a broad array of access paths for them in order to be able to make it viable. And ultimately, our product isn't as flexible and portable as some of yours. You know, if you're looking for a unit in a particular part of Toronto or Vancouver or Halifax, there are limited choices to where you can actually rent. So whilst we still strive to have the best possible experience, ultimately, if an individual wishes to rent in a particular location, then they have to actually handle the process that we provide to them.
We're dealing with brokers mostly because Home Trust Bank is a major in mortgage space, right? And what is important to work with clients who are waiting for your mortgage approval is to deliver to yes fast, right? So what we are mostly concentrating and working through various means is we are trying to shorten the time to deliver you yes to your mortgage approval within days. So everyone was waiting for that. Everyone can imagine what it means, right? So we are analyzing our workflows, and also we are integrating proactively with a lot of third-party vendors who can provide proactively a lot of augmented information on top of client volunteered information. So our brokers are happy to receive the yes faster from us, and actually our direct clients who are our internal business is also happy because they can make our brokers happy, and more clients are coming. We also are on the deposit business side. We were facing clients directly, right? And what we found interesting is that when you are calling a call center and trying to explain why you're calling and what happened, like you didn't receive a message that your statement was generated, or you did not receive an SF message, right, a notification from the bank, it's very helpful and provides very healthy and meaningful conversation between agents and clients when you have that contact history immediately in front of their eyes up to the minute when everything happened, when the message was sent, when we expect a client to receive it. So this is a small thing, contact history, but then apparently it drives differently client conversation, and clients are happier not to go through long conversations explaining what they are waiting from us for.
So I think from a services perspective, we are looking at getting the customer the information that they need in different ways. One is, through the interaction with our website, but that's just the beginning. Usually the personalization is when you're working with an advisor, and that's where the advisor is the one we have to empower. Advisor is the one that we have to provide all the services so then they can actually create useful information for the investment that customer wants to make. And having up-to-date information becomes key, and having access to the availability of what's in the market, how does it compare to their other competitors, and like. So I think the personalized service, when we talk about it, it has to take into the consideration the expectation of the demographic you're dealing with. So meeting the customer where they are. That's why for us, creating the best user experience for our advisors is key. And that's why easy to find information, whether it's through AI, harvesting the information from public and internal insights to give them the capability that they're looking for.
our strategy actually focus on connecting, your digital experience with your online in-store experience. So some of the examples that we have is digital store label. I'm not sure if you visit one of the Canadian Tire store, you can actually go into your app. If you're looking for a product, it tells you which aisle, where it is, and you can actually click a button. And when you're in that aisle, because there are tons of products in that aisle, you press a button, the label will blink to show you where that product is, right? So it's kind of like bridging that, because everybody has cell phones now, right? So it's bridging that digital experience with your in-store experience. We also have started using AI powered chatbot on tire purchases. So I'm not sure if you have a Canadian Tire app, you go to the tire sections, and there's actually a chatbot called CT. It is actually an award-winning application at a CIO award that is an app that we have, right? And you use natural language to talk to the chatbot about which model of car you have, which year it is, and based on your profile, it will actually provide the recommendation of the top 3 products that you should choose, and you can directly add to your cart and purchase it, creating a seamless experience. But we find that this connecting the customers through the multiple omni-channel is really enhancing the customer experience for us.
Our business is leasing. So our end product to the customer is the lease themselves. So we work, just like Natalie said, we work on a broker-based consumer. That's our customer base. And then once the lease commences, it goes to the actual client. So our automation efforts are mostly about 75 to 80% within the organization, just like what Jeannie said, is within the organization to increase the speed in which we deliver, because our SLAs to our brokers is 4 hours for any credit approvals and 4 hours for funding, which is approximately a day, or else they're going to somebody else who's giving them a better deal because they have the truck, they have it on the wheels, they need to get it off into the road. So for us, with that speed and mountains of data, especially documents coming in, most of our automation is looking at those documents, making sure that the data is there. Just like what Ferial said, is there's lots of manual intervention within that one too. And there's every time there is manual intervention, there is user errors. So our automation is to make sure that those user errors doesn't happen and we have a hold on it. And at the same time, making sure our policies, procedures, and our regulations are also addressed with maker checker rules and making sure that the processes are followed to the T.
Digitizing sales and service is a huge part of our customer strategy because they have to fit into a lower cost structure world.
I think what we've seen, with the likes of like the Apple Store is like subscriptions don't have to be, on a 30-day calendar, end of the month kind of basis. Like as you subscribe to new services, you can start to get like microtransactions starting to happen. And I think in the Canadian telco space, you're going to start to see more of that adoption of the model. So instead of a big 12-page, bill at the end of the month, you're going to start to get like multiple. As you subscribe to things, you're going to start to see billing happening multiple times a month.